The 25th Hour Radio Show.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the 25th Hour Radio Show today, here on Monster Radio, AM 1150. I am your host, Rob Fairless, and on the phone with me today, I have multi-platinum reggae artist Darren O'Brien, but better known to the world as Snow. Darren, Snow, thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day to join me on the show.
Thank you for having me, brother. Big up. Everything, respect, and it's been a while, so I'm here.
All right, man. Thanks for being on. Snow, I always break the ice on the show by giving no pun intended, but kind of, I guess, it's a little bit, right? By giving the listeners a chance to get a little background information about the day's guest. And being you're a reggae artist who's not originally from a country like Jamaica, right? Who one might associate reggae music with. You're Canadian. How did you first become associated with reggae music in your youth? You know enough that you wanted to pursue learning and performing in that genre yourself.
Well, it started in my area where I grew up in Toronto, in North York, called Allenbury. So when I grew up, it was mostly all Irish and and people from Newfoundland. So and then I was into rock, Kiss, Ozzy, AC/DC. I was into that, long hair. And when I was 13, 14, a lot of Jamaicans and Trinidadians started to move into the neighborhood. So my next-door neighbor, the Brown family, was a Jamaican family. And they used to just play reggae all the time. And, of course, Bob just sold it for me. Bob was like, but then I started getting into the real dance hall, So when I was about 15, but I couldn't really understand what they were saying, so I would listen to the tape because it was so dubbed over. Like the tape that I got was dubbed over 100 times before it reached me. So I would just listen to the music and rewind and listen to Coca T and Tennyson and all that, and rewind it and what did he say? Oh, so I guess I was it was just teaching me. But I didn't want to become a singer. It wasn't I was trying to do this and trying to learn to become a singer. I just loved the music. So, but I still had long hair. So then the Brown family was like, "Yo, Snow." Well, my name wasn't Snow, then it was Kid Mace because I was into, So then he was like, "Yo, let's cut your hair off." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." So he cut off my hair, put on the round glasses, and I just came out in the area and I had my little step going, my little walk. I got the walk down, and then that was it. Reggae was just, passion. And then about 4 years, about 15, 16, 17, 18, about 3 years after that, 2 years after that, it just came out of my mouth. It was like, and I was like, what the heck? What's that? And then my friends were like, "Yo, you sound good." And then I went to prison, and then I sang in there, and then all the Jamaicans loved me, and I still don't even know how to do it. Even when I'm in Jamaica, they go when I'm doing vocals, they'd be like, "What language you speaking?" I go, "I don't know. It just comes out as a Irish Jamaican, So I just have fun doing it and just love doing it. And so when I went to Jamaica, and kind of nervously going to do Sunsplash in '93, never been to Jamaica before. I knew all the Jamaicans from my neighborhood and all the Jamaicans from up here, but never been to Jamaica. So when I went there, I was like, uh-oh. And then, I ran into Coca T and all the singers that I was like, "Oh," and they were like, "Stuart, I love you." And I was like, "What?" And then I just felt at home, and that was it.
Now, do you consider yourself a natural performer? And what I mean by that is, was it easy for you to be the center of attention, when you had all the eyes glued to you on stage?
Easy. I was, growing up, me and my brother always been the center of attention in our neighborhood. My brother was he ran the neighborhood. He's 3 years older than me, so we've always had that. But the only thing is that I didn't like is okay, you're on at 10 o'clock. You're on in half an hour. But I don't have a vibe right now. I'm not catching a vibe,
Yeah.
So everything became structure and everything became, that way. So, but yeah, I sang in jail, right? And I'm talking about I sang for murderers, Jamaican murderers that were in there. And if I didn't sound good, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Definitely, man. So, man, how did you get your foot in the door of the music industry as far as getting a record deal? What was your big break there?
Again, I didn't want to be a singer. I just wrote that little song Informer because I got charged with 2 attempt murders. So while I was in jail, I just wrote that little Informer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just had that little jingle. So then when I got out, I beat the charge, the 2-attempt murder charge, but I got charged again with another assault. So I was on bail for that. So while I was on bail for that, I went to New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just think, this is 90, 91, 90 to, like 90. I got 89 to 90. So this is like 90 to 91. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I just showed whatever ID to get down there. I didn't, whatever.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, and then I was hanging on the street corner in Jamaica Avenue, Queens, and MC Shan came to buy a little weed, right?
Yeah.
So he came down, and I knew Shan from when I was a kid, like, growing up, like, yo, that's Shan. Shan's like, yo, I heard you sing. I was like, yo, what up, Shan? He's like, let me hear you sing. And I was like, all right. Blah, 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 blah. He's like, yo, I got a studio in my house. Come to my house. I was like, all right. I've never even been to a studio. Let's go. So I went to his house. He had a little studio. We did Informer, Girl I've Been Hurting, all them songs. Did the video for Informer, right? Because then that's when he introduced me to my managers at the time, right? And he introduced me to them. So then they loved because the first song we did was Informer. So they loved it. They're like, oh, this is different. And blah, 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 let's do the video. So we did the video. But I never saw the video edited and all that kind of stuff. And I never heard the album mixed or nothing. So then I went back to Toronto. The judge gave me another year, right? So I went to jail for another year. So then when I was in there for the year, so the last month that I was there, that's when they released the Informer video. So the first time I saw it was in jail, right?
Yeah.
My first pass was to Much Music from jail. So now I'm in jail, I'm watching the videos. So it just happened just that easy. I wasn't like, I didn't do a demo and shop it around to people. None of that stuff. I just did the song at the songs at Shan's house, went to jail, got out, and it was #1 in the world. And I was like, holy shit, is this real? So I was like, yeah. And then they gave me my big check, and I was like, it is real, Mom. I'm buying your house. So bought Mama a house, but that's when all the problems started coming. So '93, they threw me out of America for life. Then Japan threw me out for life. So it was like,
Yeah, man. And by having such a huge single in the U.S., man, you set yourself up to having haters coming out, out of the woodwork, man, speaking against you just because of, you being Canadian, singing reggae. I mean, you had the Jim Carrey parody of Imposter, in Living Color. And what I really find confusing about all that is while you may have been catching, flack in the United States, you actually found favor in Jamaica, which don't make any sense to me. What did the United States know about reggae that Jamaica didn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mostly got the flack before that. Like, they always liked me in Jamaica, but America didn't know it until I came out with the song with me, Buju Banton, Beanie Man, Terry Fabulous, all that. That's the biggest reggae song in U.S. history. I mean, in the world.
Yeah.
53 weeks at #1. Not Informer, but Anything for You. So then America started saying it. But America can't say nothing to me about reggae. No way, no how, no shape, no form. There's no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody can say something about me. First of all, I wouldn't even, if I wanted to sell out or do something, I would have done country. Because when I was looking at the Billboard charts, Garth Brooks went 3-time diamond. This guy went triple diamond. I was like, these guys are selling. Reggae music wasn't selling like that. You have to have the passion and the love for reggae. You just can't come out and do reggae. Because it's a whole different thing. It's not like hip-hop. Hip-hop you can do. That's just English. Hip-hop is just English. Love hip-hop, but it's not a different culture. It's not a whole different thing. You have to have the love and the joy for it. So, yeah, they can hate. Of course, I love when they hate.
And I've watched interviews you did where you actually admit to being embarrassed because of the immense success of Informer, man, because of it being the top-selling reggae song in U.S. history, man. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
That I'm embarrassed a little bit?
Yeah, because I saw an interview you did, I think it was in Jamaica or around that area, where they asked you, because, your heroes, you think maybe possibly your heroes should be the top-selling reggae song in U.S. history, like Bob Marley or something like that. You mentioned that you were kind of embarrassed because your song was the top seller.
It is embarrassed a little bit, but it's because of them. It's not even me that's at #1. It's Bob, it's Coca T, it's Tennessee, it's Junior Reid, it's Michael Rose, it's all these guys that made me the number one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it at that. But it's kind of embarrassing. It's like, I got the biggest reggae song. I'm in the Guinness Book. No, Bob Marley. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe top the charts a little bit longer at that time and did this and did that. But no, there's definitely, it's a little bit, yeah.
Hey man, do you still embrace the song? I mean, do you enjoy performing it? I mean, there are artists out there who won't perform certain hits because they're just sick of it. They're just sick of playing it. Are you like that? Or do you see it like that?
No, if the crowd loves it, if I start singing and performing, everybody starts booing. I'm like, okay, they're singing it, I'll forget it. But if they're jumping, enjoying it, and loving it, then I'm loving it. So you just got to do that. So I know
that might sound like a weird question, but it's true though. There's just certain artists out there who've had major hits and they've been asked to play them over and over again. I guess I don't see the the reasoning behind it, but in their head they do. That's why I wanted to ask you, with such a huge hit like that. I mean, you've never felt that way.
Hard to top. It's hard to top the hits, right?
Yeah.
But it's it changed my life. You know what I mean? It took me out of this. Took my mother. I bought my mother a house. So if anybody says Informer, and that song there, you can't be singing or not like that song. That's the only song out there in the world that talks about rats. People ratting on people, Informers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest Informer song. So, if it was a corny song, like, something else, then maybe I'd be a little embarrassed. But, it was a good little thing.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, is that your favorite song to perform? Because you get...
No.
Okay, yeah. What is your favorite song to perform then?
Anything for You. The one with me, Beanie Man, and Buju Banton, and Tariff, all them. Because once I touch it, I could be Jamaica, I could be anywhere, and the crowd just goes crazy, more than an Informer.
What do you think? What is it about that song that makes it so special?
The people on it. Buju, Beanie Man, all the top artists at that time. It was just, we all came together, and we all did the video and the song at the exact same time in the studio. So people were just writing their parts, and he was writing his part, and his part would come on, and everybody would freak out, and then, it was just love, and it was just, and then going to, like, because I live in Kingston then, right? So, and then going to a dance, Stone Love dance, and standing up there and seeing the whole crowd just go crazy over it. Like, if Informer came on in Jamaica, yeah. But when Anything for You comes on, oh, that's a whole different story. So when I did that song, that's when everybody was like, okay, this guy, Jamaica loves him. It's like, But the funny thing is, I just got my turntable back, my 1200 from my DJ. He's had it for about 15 years, so I just got it back. So I'm getting vinyl again. So now I'm like, I need the Snow record, brother. I had to call Korea and order it online from Korea for $55. I'm like, yo, brother, you can't get a little bit better price?
Can't the original artist get some slack there?
Yeah, so I bought the record. I have it here, and it sounds pretty good. It's a pretty good album,
So let's talk about what you're doing now, man. I spoke with your manager the other day, and he mentioned some new projects on the horizon. Can you talk about that, or is that too early to discuss?
No. I just got with Paul Riverman, so he's big, and me and him just been grinding it, and we got a whole new record, like about 15 new songs produced by Cool and Dre, Scott Storch, Ken Jones produced like 5-6 songs.
Wow, big names there.
Yeah, I got Fat Joe on a single. I got Michael Rose, So, and these people all, like when I did the song, Fat Joe came in and says, yo, I need to be on the song. I got to be on that song. I was like, yeah, of course, brother, So we were just working on the same. So that's what we have. We have about 12, 13, 14 songs, new songs that were just, they haven't been mixed or done, 100%, but they're there, and big songs, big songs. So I had fun.
Now, he mentioned maybe you doing a mix of Informer, some EDM stuff or something like that?
I just got, he just told me today that it's almost done. So the people from England over there, They're doing, they did the remix. They were like, yo, Snow, why you do that? Like, so many people came to me and said, yo, you got to do that song Informer again, because the kids don't know it, and they would love it because it's that kind of style. It's not like a outdated style. It's like this style, like people are doing this kind of style, like, now. So I'm like, all right. So I gave him the vocals. I did the vocals over it. So it's not a remix. It's me singing the vocals over. And after I hear Lil Wayne and all them songs and Drake singing it, I'm like, yeah, let me put it back out.
No, I'm curious, man. If you're sitting down writing a song these days, have you noticed a definite content change as from maybe, say, 20 years ago? Are you writing about things you probably never would have guessed you would have been writing about when you were a younger man?
No, I'm still the same.
Haven't changed at all. 20 years ain't changed you at all.
Oh, not one bit. I got all the same friends from kindergarten. We're all getting together tonight. Okay. So I got all the same friends, and that's it. And the content changed for the kids out there. Like, most of these rap songs and stuff are just, mumbling and, every day, check it out, I'm drinking tea.
Yeah, I can't get into that. I can't get into that, man.
I can't really get into that, but that's what they love. That's what the kids are loving, so there's nothing, So me, I just write whatever comes. It's like, like even when I've done years and years and years and years in jail, and I've grown street. Like there's no other rapper out there, no other who was raised street like me. I can say it. None of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was raised street. So when I came out, if you listen to my first album, I don't even think I even swore one time on my record.
I can't remember you doing it.
No, I didn't swear or come out. I did the Informer, a little bit like that, but I didn't come out, I'm going to tell and I'm a bad and go on with that. No, I just keep it with the girls and keep it, So maybe a little context change in 20 years because I'm married now.
Marriage will change a man. Yeah, I've been married for 10 years. Yeah, definitely change a man. Yeah, and kids will too.
Yeah, of course. So, and I got 2 daughters. I got a Jamaican daughter, and I got and my Jewish daughter. So I got the Jews and the Jamaicans and the Irish. So we're good.
I've never heard anyone ask you what you're about outside of music, man. Have you have any other passions in life, any hobbies that you partake in?
Nope. Hang with my friends. That's it. Always together. And we've been together since like kindergarten. Like these are the guys I took on tour, like first tour. These are these are like not new friends. Like, so we just hang, watch, boom. I draw. I'm a good drawer. I paint. But other than that,
you just hang with the people you can trust.
I just hang with them. That's it. Just hang with them. But I like to do as much as I can for the kids and for the areas in here. Mm-hmm. For the housing projects up here. I try to do as much as I can, especially for my neighborhood. I did, I would do a show there every year and give them, TVs and give, all that kind of stuff. So, just positive. It's just all positive.
Now, are you a big social media fan or anything like that? Or are you kind of iffy on that?
On the who?
On the social media aspect of things.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan. It's like, there's no, like, truthfully, the only real rock and roll band that still has that mystique about them to this day, really, to me, is Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Kiss. I loved Kiss growing up. That was my favorite, but then they went into the, and I know everything about them, and we know everything about too many people. You know what I mean? There's no mystique about it no more. Before, when I was growing up, you had to get, like, you wouldn't hear nothing about the artist, or you'd have to buy a magazine and look, and now it's like, oh, he's at the store and he's buying chocolate milk. And
yeah, he's just a normal dude, just like me and you, right?
Yeah, like there's no mystique about it. There's no like, there's none of that no more. Everybody knows, oh yeah, this guy, and half of it's fake, and half of it, these people are putting on these fake beefs and all this kind of, that just makes me, if you're doing music, stick with the music and stop with the beef stuff and stop going on like you're gangster. You want to be gangster, be a gangster.
I know, man. My wife is a huge Kardashian show fan. I can't stand it when she has it on. No offense to the Kardashians out there, right? If they happen to be listening to this, but like you said, it's all set up, man. I just, it's not really reality. It's fake reality. And maybe when it first came out, when the shows first started, the Flavor of Love and stuff like that, because I talked to one of the girls off the show Flavor of Love with Flavor Flav on VH1, and she swore up and down it was real. I have my, doubts on that, but I'll take her word for it. You know what I mean? But nowadays, no.
Yeah, you want, like, I could come out there and start dissing Drake. He's from Toronto, I'm from Toronto, boom. I'm going to diss Drake. Why? Because I want to get some publicity and I want to get some fame. And nah, man, I don't want that. Even if I didn't even like the guy, I wouldn't even diss him. I'm like, it's retarded.
Now, man, one quick question before we start to kind of wrap things up here. Is there anything you might want to say to your fans out there who love your music, who have bought your albums, who have supported you throughout these years? I just want to give you an opportunity to do so if you'd like, because there are fans from this area that have been very excited about hearing about you coming on the show.
Oh, I just love it. See, that's the thing too. Like now, people could see their fans. They interact with their fans, which is cool, and they get to see what their fans are doing. They get to see their fans dancing in their bedroom, putting on their makeup and stuff, having fun and stuff. You can see that now. But when I was growing up, I never saw none of that stuff. And I wish I did. I wish I saw, But now you see some YouTube stuff about people singing my song and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's flattering, and I just wish, I don't know, I just love and respect that they love the music and it's real and I don't know, I just, wish I didn't get kicked out of America at first, and so I could come down there and tour.
I wish you didn't either, man. Hey, what can I say?
In 93, I was almost there. I was at the border. I did the Canadian tour. I had the American tour coming, and then right at Montreal border, they stopped me and said, "No, you're kicked out for life." And I was like, "Oh, all right. I'm going back to Canada. Let's go." So it wasn't like, oh my God. And so would I make an album and I put it out and it flops or this flops or it don't bother me one bit. I'm not in it for the fame. I'm not in it for the fortune. I'm not in it for nothing. And I've never been. I was in jail. I did it by mistake meeting MC Shan. Went to jail, got out number one. I wasn't expecting none of this. So it's like,
yeah, not too many people can say that, right? You went to jail, come out number one.
Oh, nobody could say that.
Yeah.
Like people like Tupac and them have been successful and then went to jail, like Lil Wayne and them went to jail. But I was nothing. I wasn't even known, and I went to jail. Like everybody knew me in jail because they know my family. Because I was in jail with me, my father, my brother, my Uncle Patty, my Uncle Terry, in the same range, same cell. So everybody in jail knew me, right? But then I got out and everybody, like, number one, and I was like, holy shit. The video, I was inside jail in the Video Informer, and I'm in jail watching the Video Informer. My first pass was too much music from jail. Like, give me a weekend pass. I'm like, I'll see you guys Monday. I'll be back Monday, guys. A lot more cookies in jail after that.
Honey buns.
Yeah, I was getting everything in jail. I wasn't living like the good fellas, though. I wasn't getting lobsters and steaks, but I was getting cookies.
Yeah, man. I can't say that I haven't spent a couple months in the county before, man. So I know all about the honey buns and things like that.
Jail's rough. Jail's tough. I don't care where you are. If you're locked up in your bedroom for a month, you go nutty.
Oh yeah.
No phone with no. Okay, you maybe have one phone call or two phone calls you get, or you can whatever, fight over the phone. They like to fight over the phones in there. That's a big thing.
And the television.
Oh, yeah, television, they like to fight over that too. They like to fight,
They have nothing else. You don't have really much to do in there but to do something like that and to play spades.
Yeah, of course. So it's hard. So and then I came. So I came to jail. So all the white guys knew my family. My Uncle Patty was like one of the biggest gangsters in here in Toronto. And you can ask anybody if you ever do another interview from Toronto, that's street Toronto. They know me and they know guaranteed. So they needed me out because I was in there. I don't go on like a tough guy. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just a singer. They're like, yo. So all the black guys loved me. All the white guys were like, okay, we got to love him because it's family. But, what is he singing? And the funny thing is that when me and my brother, we would go to yard, right? Our range would all go down to the yard. But we would go with the next range. And the next range was mostly all black, all Jamaicans. Mm-hmm. So when we would go to yard together, I would be in the corner with all the blacks, beating on the wall, singing reggae music. And my brother is 3 years older than me. He'd be walking with, some Italians, some guys, and they'd be like, "Are you sure that's your brother? That's your brother over there?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my brother." I'd be in the corner. "Are you sure that's your fucking brother? Look at him." In the corner, right? He goes, "Yeah, that's my brother. That's Darren. Look at him." So it was just all positive and all love. So, any hood I go to in Toronto, right, or Jamaica, Tivoli, Rima, Jungle, all them places, all the Dons and everybody, they all love me. So I'm like stamped. Nobody can say nothing to me about reggae music or what I've done, because they love me. So if they would have said Snow, sound good, man. I don't think you should do this. I'd be like, okay, I think you're right. I'm not doing this. But they loved it. They're like, yo, Snow, you must have the love for the music. You know what I mean? So just keep doing it. We love you, and I love them, and, and that's how it is.
Well, Darren, man, Snow, I want to thank you once again for joining me on the show today. Like I said, I've always been a big fan of your music, and it's been my pleasure, man, speaking to you today.
Thank you so much, and I would love to send you some new stuff too. So I'd love to get the email and stuff and send it to the show, and anytime. And when they do let that border open up for the snowman and let some of the snow come down there, I would love to just sit on the show and just talk and reason with you and see,
Got it, man. Thanks so much for being on, dude.
Thank you so much, and big up and one love.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.